Good day. God bless you, and I'm glad to come on your way. My name is John F. Perez, and I want to start a series of teaching with every one of you today. And I believe you are going to be blessed tremendously, and you will begin to bring in your testimonies very soon in Jesus' name. Today, I'm starting to talk to you on the subject how to make people to patronize your product or services. How to make people to patronize your product or services. How to make people to buy your product or to buy your services. This is what I'm talking about. I know as a business person, as a business man or a business woman, the main thing you need is to sell your goods and your services. How to make people to buy your goods and to buy your services, to patronize them. If you are in business and this is not your target, then I don't know why you are in business. Everyone are in business because they want to sell. Everybody. I am here to see somebody who goes into business and the intention is not for him to sell. Everybody wants to sell something. Why are you producing that thing? Why are you providing that service if you do not want people to patronize it? If you do not want people to buy it or to get that service or that product. So we want to look at how to make people to patronize, to buy, to get get the product and your services. Very, very important. If there is anything that is so much important in business, it is this particular subject. There is no business you do whatsoever that you will not need this information. You need this knowledge. You need this information so that you can be able to sell more. It does not matter whether you sell online, you sell offline physically, you sell in a shop, you sell in whatever. If you can master these secrets I will be giving unto you, I promise you, my brother and my sister, you begin to have a lot of sales and you begin to smile. I know you will smile very soon as you begin to apply these things in your lives and in your business. You see, to encourage people to patronize your products, to encourage people to patronize your services, there are several strategies that you need to employ. And I'm going to be giving you the strategies one after the other. Please, I beg you, do your best to take good note of these strategies. Very, very important. Why? Because they are time tested and proven, and they have worked for millions of people. And I have no doubt in my heart that these principles, these strategies, they are also going to work for you. They will work for your business. They will work for your business, whether it's online, whether it's offline. Whatever product you are producing, whatever services you are rendering, this thing, if you can learn them, they work for you. Now, strategy number one. The strategy number one to make people to patronize your product and services is that you must understand your audience. You must what? You must Not that you should, you must. It's a must. You must understand your audience. Listen to me. Whatever product you are selling, whatever services you are rendering is not to everybody. And because it's not to everybody, then it means you cannot sell this product or render that service to everybody. There are specific group of people that those products are meant for. There are specific group of people that those services you are rendering are meant for. So it's important that you must conduct market research to identify your target audience's needs. Conduct market research to identify your target audience needs. Number one, identify your target audience, identify their needs, identify their preferences, and identify their pain points. So if you can be able to, number one, know your targets. Are they children? Are they women? Are they men? Are they students? Are they youths? Are they old the old age people? Are they there are different audiences. There are different audiences. You must be able to know your target audience. You must be able to know them. That's why you can't sell to everybody. You can't render your services to everybody. So you must know, one, your target audience. And number two, you must you must conduct market research to identify those your target audiences, one, their needs, their preferences, and their pain points. Because you are there to offer solution. Business is always offering solution to people's problem. Business is always to meet the needs of people. Business is always to help people relieve their pains. Maybe you run this maybe what do I say? Like massage business and spa and whatever, and the person come and say, I have this back, this, I have this and that, and then you have to massage the person. You are doing what? You are rendering services, and the person is going to pay you in return. You are easing the pains and the stress of the person, and the person will pay you in return. So if you want to make people to patronize your product and services, number one strategy is to understand your target. And when you understand your target, then you need to conduct market research to identify your target's three things. Number one, their needs. Number two, their preferences. Number three, their pain points. Then you tailor your product or services to meet their specific requirements. Tailor your product to meet their specific requirement. Tailor your services to meet their specific requirement. So if you can be able to do this, I promise you, because I have worked with this over the years. I've been doing business over 30 years. I have been doing my own businesses over 30 years. I've been rendering services to people for several years. And I don't just come out to the market. I sit down and I ask myself questions. Who am I producing this thing for? Who am I going to be rendering this my services to? And I do not only stop there, then I begin to research what are the needs of this my audience? What are their preferences, and what are their pain points? What are those things they need to be solved? Those things they need those pains they need an ease for, a relief for. So when I'm able to get to know that A, B, C, R, then I quickly sit down. Then I come up with a product. I come up with some services. Then I begin to advertise. And then people are always ready to patronize your product or services if it is meeting their needs. People come to me and they say, I don't know the business to start. I say, go to the market, go to your area and find out the needs of people and solve them. Just find out the needs of people and find a way to solve that problem for them. And definitely you will know what to start. Maybe your locality, there is no place they are selling food, and people have to travel long journey to go and buy food for themselves. Why not to start a restaurant in your area? Maybe start a mini restaurant, or according to your strength, or you start buying the things from the market and come and they go and they buy from you to go so and go and cook. Having said that, the question now is, how do you conduct market research to identify your target needs, preferences, and pain points? How do you conduct market research? Because I know a lot of you right now, you are asking that question. Okay, yes, Mr. John, yes, I heard you. Okay, now I know my targets. Now I know my target. My target is this, my target is that. But how do I conduct the market research to be able to know their needs, to be able to know their preferences and their pain point? It's easy. Let me give them to you today. This is just the part 1 of this series I've started. I will encourage you to subscribe to this my channel and turn on the notification bell. The bell over there, tune it on. Subscribe and then tune the notification bell on, so that anytime I come, you'll be the first person to be notified. And if you're watching me on Facebook, make sure that you follow me. As you follow me, you share it to your friends, share it to groups to also be a blessing unto them. When I come every week, you are going to be seeing these things, and it's going to be a blessing unto you. So, how do you conduct market research to identify your audience need, preferences, and pain points? How do you? Now watch this. Conducting market research is crucial for understanding your target's audience and their needs. And I'm going to give you some few points some few steps that will help you to conduct effective market research. And the step number one that will help you to conduct an effective market research is what? Define your research objectives. You must define your what? Your research objectives. You have to determine the specific goals of your research. What information do you want to gather? Are you looking to understand your customers' preferences, identify their market trends, or assess the demand for a new product? You need to ask yourself this and answer these questions. Because clearly defining your objectives will guide your research process. Clearly defining your objectives will guide your research process. Never ever jump into any business without following the steps I'm giving to you. The strategies and the steps that I'm giving to you. I know you are learning something. Then the step number 2 for conducting market research to identify your target audience needs, preferences, and pain points is what? That you must identify your target audience. Determine the specific demographic, psychographic, and behavioral characteristics of your target audience. You have to consider factors like age, gender, location, income level, interests, and their buying behaviors. And these are very, very important. So knowing this will help you tailor your research to the very right group of people. Then the step number 3 in conducting an effective market research is that you have to choose the research method you are going to use. You must choose the research method to use. You must select the appropriate research methods based on your objectives and target audience. And I'm going to give you some common market research methods. Some common market research method. And what is the number one? Number one is interviews. Interviews. You have to conduct one-on-one interviews with individuals who fit your target audience profile. This can be in person. This can be over the phone, or this can be through video calls. So you have to talk to people, you have to interview people. It does not matter whether the people are close to you or not. So in order for you to choose the right method, to choose the research method, some of the research methods, that you need to use are just like as I said now, interviews. Then another one is survey. You have to do survey. Create online or offline surveys to gather quantitative data. Ensure your questions that you are going to ask are clear, they are concise, and they are unbiased. You can use tools like SurveyMonkey, they are all online. SurveyMonkey, or you can use tools like Google Forms and etc. to distribute your survey and collect responses from people. Then another step again that will help you is what we call focus groups. Focus groups. So you gather a small group of individuals representing your target audience, and you facilitate a discussion around specific topics with them. The focus groups allows you for deeper insight and group dynamics, but they may also require more time and resources. Because you can't just gather these people and maybe for days and weeks and hours and just let them go. We provide maybe some water for them to drink, some soft drinks, some this and that and that. You know you are going to benefit so much from it. So you have to sacrifice something. You know that people coming. They are the type of your market audience, your target audience. And you are going to get something from them. So you too must be ready to give something to them. And then the step number 4 I will give quickly is observation. Observation. That is another research method. Is observation. I've given you 3 research methods. I've given you what? Number 1, interviews. I've given you survey. Then I've given you focus groups. And then finally, observation is another method for you to conduct market research. So you observe and analyze consumer behavior in real life or online settings. And this can involve tracking website analytics, monitoring social media conversations, or conducting in-store observations. So if you can be able to put all these things into practice, I promise you that definitely you are going to start to begin on the journey and how to get people to patronize your product and services. Remember, this is just the part 1. I will come again with the part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5, on and on, because we need to handle this subject exhaustively. We need to handle it well. We don't need to just talk about it anyhow. Remember, we are talking on what? How to make people to patronize your products or your services. And I said that the number one way to make people, or the number one strategies to make people to patronize your product and services is understanding your target. You must have a target you are reaching. You don't just produce things for anything, for anyhow. No, you don't produce things anyhow. You don't just offer services anyhow. You must channel it to a particular group of people, a particular audience, a particular set of people, particular. So until you are very, very, very specific about the people, your audience, your market, you will be suffering. Your business will be suffering. So it's important that you have to know who you are producing things for and who you are offering the service for. And I said that if you are going to make sure that you get these people, you have to conduct market research to identify their needs, their preferences, and their pain points. Then I went further to give you how to conduct the market research in order to identify your target's needs, your target's preferences, and your target pain point. And I gave you some what they call it, some steps. And I said the step number one for you to conduct an effective market research, to know your target's needs and your target preferences and pain point, is that number one, you must define your research objectives. Determine the specific goals of your research, of your market research. What do you want? What information do you want to gather? You must know the particular information you want to gather. You must also know what you are looking for, and the rest and the rest. Then I said the step number two in conducting an effective market research is that you must identify your target audience. You must identify the specific demographic, the psychographic, and the behavioral characteristics of your target audience. Very, very important. Then I said the step number three, for you to conduct an effective market research, to be able to identify your targets. Remember the target. We are still on target. To identify your target needs, preferences, and pain point, the number three step is what? That you must choose the right research methods. You must choose the right research methods. And I'll begin to give you some of the methods that will help you. And I said the methods, number one is interviews. I said number two is what? Surveys. Number three is focus groups. And number four is observation. So we will stop here today. When I come on your way again, we will continue still on the strategy number one in making people to what? Patronize your product and your gift, because there are still more things I need to talk about. The strategy number one, which is what? The target audience. There are so much I still have to talk about this. Then after that, then we'll graduate to strategy number two. Then I'll give you point and point and point. We'll go to strategy number three. I'll give you point and point and point. By the time we finish this, I know your businesses will begin to flourish. Even if you are doing ministry or whatever, these things are also very, very important. And I believe that you are already blessed. Subscribe to this channel. Press the bell, the notification bell. Share the video to as many groups as possible, as many platforms as possible, and I know you'll be blessed. Thank you. I'll come back on your way. Bye.